How's it going, ladies and baristas? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to Necrobarista. It's time for us to pick 7 more words and get back into it. I'm feeling like we must be getting to the end because we're doing the ritual now. So I don't know how much longer we've got, but let's pick some words for now. Let's go with AC/DC because I got some good songs. Let's go with millennial because I am one. Let's go with Styx because, you know, the river Styx and all that. That's pretty cool. Eloquent. It's a good word to describe speaking in a way that I can't possibly do because I'm not eloquent. Philosophers, because philosophy is interesting. Verisimilitude, because, I don't know, we can make things appear realer than they really are. I have no idea. I'm just, I don't know. Let's go with gremlin. There we go. That'll have to do. That'll be Ashley, yep. Philosophers, Shay. Millennial, Melbourne. Yeah. The terminal, that's a helpful one. Melbourne and the terminal. Guests. Magic, verisimilitude, yeah, that makes sense. Styx, death, that works too, that makes sense. Nice range of stuff there, we can at least do one thing. Because we got the Australia, finally. It was Melbourne, funnily enough, but whatever. It's specific. It's unnecessarily specific. No. Is there no freebies in this one? No. Oh, what do we got here? Still not. There's no freebies, there's no nothing down there. Unless we can get, this one. Yep, there's your freebie. Who wants to live forever? Espresso Machine's acting up again. Maddie sighed. Why does it have to be like this? It doesn't have to be like this, said Shay. You're right, said Maddie. It wasn't always like this. If you travel back in time far enough, you'll find an era when we had a working espresso machine. And if you travel even further back, you'll get to a time when espresso machines didn't exist, said Shay. Maddie reached below the counter for a bottle of Chardonnay she'd opened that morning. It was half empty. Is this the prelude to one of those moments where the old man tells me about how lucky we are to have things so easy? Nah, said Shay. Things aren't easier. In fact, they're harder. That's why you need all the modern technology to help deal with them. Shay nodded to the wine bottle in Maddie's hands. So you can offer me some of that, or just keep squeezing its neck like you're trying to choke it? Maddie began pouring a drink for Shay. So what were things like back in the old days? Well, for one thing, we didn't need glasses back then. Glasses are not a new invention, old man. I've seen pictures of Benjamin Franklin. Oh yeah, we had glasses back then, but we didn't use them. We drank straight from the bottle. Haha. No, really, said Shay. Glasses are just one more thing to keep track of. One more thing to clean. It's much easier to pass the bottle back and forth. That may be the case, said Maddie, but I'm sure our patrons appreciate the extra effort that goes into making sure they're always drinking from a clean glass. I'm sure they do, said Shay. That's another thing that's changed. Everyone's a connoisseur of whatever they're drinking. Is that you finger wagging about how young people have particular tastes? No, said Shay. At least I don't think it is. I guess people are all enjoying the present moment more. Back when we drank sock juice, you were just doing whatever it took to get that stimulant into your bloodstream. Ditto for most depressants. Do I want to know what sock juice is? Said Maddie. Because I'm fairly certain I don't. We didn't have coffee filters back then, said Shay. So you'd use a sock instead. Don't worry, we always clean socks whenever they were available. Maddie closed her eyes, looking physically ill. You were saying something about people enjoying the present moment. Before that thoroughly awful digression about how you make coffee. Yeah, said Shay. I know there's a stereotype about how in modern society no one is ever really present, but if anything, it feels like it's the other way around. Nowadays, people are all about enjoying the present moment. People used to be way more obsessed with where they were going. As in, where they were migrating to? In a manner of speaking, said Shay. Let's just say, I'm amazed how few people these days come in here asking questions about heaven and hell. 100 years ago, if you caught someone on their way out of this world, the first thing they'd want to know is, which place is this? And after they found out where they were on a temporary stop to the next place, they'd want to know where it was they were going. There's still plenty of that, said Maddie. Yeah, but a lot less of it, said Shay. And you know, I don't think it was a case of people's priorities suddenly changing once they found themselves standing on the precipice. There were people who used to describe themselves as God-fearing. It was just a part of life, and now it's not. He shrugged. I guess people found more important things to worry about. There wasn't a lot going on back then. He took a sip of Chardonnay. Good thing I'm gonna live forever. Worried you go to hell? Hell yes, said Shay. I've done way too much sinning to ever make it to heaven. You've done more good than ill for the world, said Maddie. I'm pretty sure that balances it out. You probably have a positive balance. Nah, said Shay. I don't think it works like that. I'm pretty sure I'm just a bad person who happens to do good things most of the time. Well, it might not be good enough for heaven, but it's good enough for me, said Maddie. So I guess it's a good thing that you're going to live forever. That was a nice conversation, I like it. There's only like one thing in here, right? And that's Ashley's robot. Can we do that? Ashley's journal. Yes, we can do that. That uses up our Melbourne, though. I like learning more about Ashley, though. She's pretty cool. Row Battle Royale Robots Power Rankings. Alpha Charlie Echo. Or Ace. All of the commenters call this robot Ace, probably because it's so good. It seems biased for them to call one particular robot Ace, but it's obvious how it got this name when it wins all the time. At first it looks like this bot doesn't have a weapon, it's just designed to be really fast and agile. Then you realise its entire body is a weapon for ramming into unsuspecting people. This would be a great tactic if you got into a fight when you didn't have a weapon. You don't need a flamethrower or a buzzer if you just have a 150 kilogram body and you can ram into people really fast. This probably won't work very well for me because I don't weigh 150 kilos and I'm pretty small. But that isn't a problem since I usually carry things that can be used as weapons. Like I could carry a crowbar, and if someone tried to attack me, I could take the alley end and jam the crowbar under their feet and pull it up to use it to knock them off balance, and even though I'm probably smaller than most people, I'm not sure why it's named Alpha Charlie Echo. I assumed it was a remake or made in the style of a bot called Alpha Charlie. There aren't any other bots by that name. And the team that made it are all rookies. Also, none of them are named Charlie. Maybe it's named after someone's dad or brother. The next robot will probably be called Beta Charlie Echo, or maybe Alpha V2 Charlie Echo, or Final 2 Charlie Echo. Sure. Sure, that's it. Anyway, let's see if we can find something that we can interact with upstairs. We don't have a hell of a lot again, unfortunately, but you never know. We might win one. Oh, there you go, we got this one. We can do this one. Thinking about alchemy the wrong way. Highlighted passages from Thinking About Alchemy the Wrong Way by Sophie Cordova. Oh, it's Sophie again. Most study of alchemy throughout history can be categorized as either practical alchemy, that is, alchemy which aims to understand the world only as well as it is needed to fulfill certain utilitarian ends, and philosophical alchemy, that is, alchemy which aims to come to a more complete understanding of the world as it is, without prejudice for which portions of alchemical understanding can be wielded to utilitarian needs. In the modern alchemy movement, there has been a tendency within literature to place a greater emphasis on philosophical alchemy based on the premise that coming to a more complete and correct understanding of the universe is the best way for us to discover new practical methods for the physical use of alchemy. Much of this is based on the modern scientific movement and the post-Enlightenment era. Much like our understanding of theoretical physics gives us more accurate models of physical reality, which have real applications in engineering. Having a better understanding of alchemy on a philosophical level informs our practice of alchemy. However, it may that this focus on alchemy, which places an emphasis on being correct rather than useful, has thrown out the baby with the bathwater. Admittedly, my position here is hardly biased. The fact that practical studies of alchemy have largely been chased underground is the reason that the tome you're reading is self-published, rather than distributed through more official channels. For example, underappreciated in the development of modern alchemical practices is the use of the 5-element model. The pre-Aristotelian alchemical models were based on an understanding of 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Later, Aristotelian alchemical models separated elements into 4 categories: earth, water, air, and fire. While this model may be more accurate and reflect the evolution of our understanding of alchemy, it seems to sacrifice the more practical separation of elements in a way that better allows us to understand less tangible things. While wood is not an element strictly speaking, it helps for us to think of it as such. After all, juxtaposing wood against elements such as metal and fire make it apparent that wood possesses certain soul-like qualities that other elements lack, which might prompt us to question what it is about wood that seems to make it behave like a super element with practical uses beyond the conventional. Well, it's the only thing in that list that's biological, right? There is a great irony to the fact that while these kinds of questions eventually led us to discard the 5-element model, the new model no longer allows for the existence in this sort of question to exist in academic literature. This book serves as my guide to asking the wrong questions to arrive at the wrong answers that nonetheless seem to work. It is a book for troublemakers and rule breakers. Indeed, the fact that you hold this book in your hands right now is probably evidence that you've broken several rules to acquire it. That, or you are a rule enforcer tasked with destroying my work, who for some reason has decided to take the time to read it. Perhaps you're reading my work in search of identifying information which might lead you to my location, or you're reading to gain a better understanding of someone whom you consider to be an enemy. Perhaps after reading my work you'll realise that my ideas are not so dangerous as you've been to believe. Or perhaps you'll realise that they're exactly as dangerous as you've been told. Interesting. We got no Melbourne for that one. Alright, well, I guess we're done. Time to move on to the next thing. Here we go. Guess we'll see how the ritual's going. And you should have seen this coming. This is on you. There is no question. You are a failure. The council's going to take the cafe away from you. And you should have seen this all coming. Episode 7. Ghost. Day 3, 7 AM, the terminal. This never gets old. You know, I wondered for a long time how I would feel if I ever got old. And then I tried it out. And I got old anyway. There's probably a moral in that story somewhere. When did we ever have time for morals anyway? You're a hellion, you know that? Even the mild-mannered can raise hell under the right circumstances. It's weird to think that you used to just be a mild-mannered student. I was just better at biting my tongue. Ha! If anything, I just hope that I was able to make your life a little more interesting. We've had a pretty good run, mate. I don't want you to feel like I wasted my time on you. Or that having you in my life hasn't been an absolute bloody privilege. Can we do this later? Of course. I reckon I see someone walking over. Can you get the machine ready? If there was ever a moment when Maddie hoped a machine would fail her, it's now. Yeah. Let's make some fucking coffee. Here you go. Again, sorry for the wait. Thanks. If it were anywhere else, I'd just not come back. But the beans. And I promise it won't happen again. Thanks for your patience. How long was I staring at the wall? 15 minutes by my reckoning. Shay's method of reckoning might mostly be based on hunches, but his hunches are formed by more experience than you can fit into most science textbooks. What the hell? I came inside from sweeping up the front, and just saw you staring blankly at your mug while the customer was just standing there. They were being very patient. I have no idea how that happened. I feel terrible. It's no biggie. Like you told me the other day, our roasts are iconic enough that we can afford to get away with stuff like that once in a while. Well, yeah, but the context of that conversation was when we just fought off dozens of ashlings that didn't believe us. How did they actually even find time to make that many of them? When we told them we weren't stray pieces of cutlery. Yeah, we probably shouldn't let that happen again. Trust me, it's not on the agenda. But like I was saying, people love this place. Even if they sometimes have to wait 15 minutes for the barista to stop hyper-focusing on her coffee. Yeah, I don't know. This isn't meant to happen. How long have you been awake? I think maybe 3 days? Good lord. That's bad, yeah? I'm honestly amazed you're not seeing things. Oh, I'm hallucinating hardcore. No worries there. Also, I keep seeing faces in coffees. They saying anything interesting? Nothing but echoes of my internal monologue. There's a lot of room in Maddie's head for those ideas to bounce around and revisit her. More espresso, less depresso. I'm sure it's a fun time. It's a blast. At least your hands don't need to be too steady to make coffee. See, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. Shh. Anyway, speaking of coffee, you should make some. I'm already like 15 shots deep, man. I think I'll die if I have any more. No, Maddie. I'm saying you have a job to do. Sorry, I feel like you're trying to lead me to some sort of conclusion here, but... For the customer, right here, who I assume is wanting a coffee. Oh, shit. My bad. Haven't slept for... What can we get you? 1 latte. 1 soy flat white. Simple things can sometimes put you back down to earth, at the very least. They're a reason you'd miss having both feet on the ground. Sure thing. Feel free to take a seat. We'll bring him over. Man. Yep. 15 shots though. Really? Because just saying, at some point you're gonna hit a lethal dose. I have some insane tolerance happening here. There are some things that Maddie has a hard time tolerating. Caffeine isn't one of them. I think. I hope. Right. Well, I respect your right to make a complete idiot out of yourself and die in the process. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't. Ha! I can't believe everyone's gonna know me as the person who killed her boss in a botched necromancy attempt. The only thing worse than getting caught practicing necromancy is getting caught failing at necromancy. You know? That's hella street rap right there. Council's gonna be too afraid to screw with me. I don't think they're too intimidated by you, fortunately. Damn it. Let's not worry about them for now, though. What should I worry about instead? Nothing? Buddy, I tried. Hey, actually, where's Ashley? Sleeping upstairs. We're not gonna get much out of her for a few hours at least. And Keishan's gone off somewhere, in the terminal with Ned. You're around. Somewhere. Good that Ashley's getting some sleep, though. Imagine if you did that. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Aha. But also, she's okay, right? Yep. Just need some rest and maybe a few days of tapering off caffeine. Oh, she's gonna be cranky. As a mule. Well, I have that to look forward to. I'm sure it'll be plenty of fun. What can we get you? What roast do you have today? Let me see. We've got your standards, espresso, Italian, city. No, I'm looking for something fancy. Fancy, you say? What do you have in mind? I don't know. Something new. Different. Special. Artisanal. Psst, Maddie. What? In English, that word translates to artisanal. Thanks. Anytime, mate. We got a pretty nice house roast you might like. What else can you call a coffee that feels like home? Your beans are sourced from a faraway land, enchanted with subtle magics. What land? Tell me. They're from Brisbane. What else? I'll give you a secret blend if you stop holding up the line. I'll take it. Go sit down. I'll bring it over to you. What were you gonna give him? I was just gonna take a blowtorch to some espresso beans. For the culture consumers who can truly appreciate espresso brulee. Come on, Maddie. What? Don't be ridiculous. I don't know what you mean. I mean, that it's a waste of time for you to do that when you've got people to serve? Ah. Be right back. I'm gonna enjoy this. (10:45 AM, the terminal. We had the breakfast rush. God, you weren't kidding. This is awful. How are you able to drink that without your entire face crumbling into dust? It's so dry that I'd give Antarctica a run for its money. Antarctica is a desert, technically. Shut up. I find it drinkable because it reminds me of good times. Drinkable feels like it's ranked right up there with passable for tepid compliments. What? It's thoroughly shithouse. It reminds me of lost loves. It's very worrying to me that this concentrated bin juice reminds you of a relationship. Oh, if only Maddie knew just how many hearts Shay has had to break And how many times he's had to steal his own. Oh, I've told you about her. Wait. You're not talking about... Yep, the fugitive. Putting it charitably, there are probably some other words that could describe her. The one who I took in for a few months. I thought you liked her. I did. The taste reminds me of her because it's smoky. Like licking a friggin' tailpipe. And has vague hints of iron. I have concerns, Shay. I never thought I'd have a succubus drop by, to be honest. Succubi are fabled for going after sleeping victims, but most of them have the decency to wake you up and ask for permission first. Wait, you never told me she was a succubus, didn't I? Well, I suppose it would have been inappropriate to mention that in front of Ashley. Oh yeah, her head would definitely explode. But yes, she was a succubus. I wouldn't have expected a cute demon to crash at my bar, but ended up having a wonderful short-lived relationship. Flings can cram a lot of passion into a few days. Some people think that kind of passion density shouldn't be possible. Attempt one at your own peril. It's actually really sweet. Yeah. Still weird that the coffee reminds you of her. Well, I've heard weirder things. If you don't have an appetite for the unusual, the terminal's a bad place to find a full-time job. If I explained it to you, your head would explode too. Well, you mentioned tailpipes. Well, that's my break time over. Time to get back to work, running a cafe, doing barista things. I'm gonna go perform some barista-related activities, and you're welcome to join me, I guess. Just don't forget to water the plants. It wouldn't be accurate to say that Maddie had one job. She's had a lot to deal with, but that plant needs some love. Water them yourself. It's your job. Busy, goodbye. Oh, that was a short one, jeez. That makes up for the last two long ones. Are we seriously here just so we can be part of the robot fight club? For real? Is this why I was raised from the dead and sealed in a metal shell? Is this the only reason? Guys, I'm freaking out. Why aren't you saying anything? Guys? Egg puns. Right? I should poach some of them. Seriously. Is this not a big deal to you guys? Nah. We only fight if we want to. And it's all in good fun. You're really endorsing capturing creatures and forcing them to fight one another. Like Pokemon. Sure, why not? It's not like we really have the capacity to get injured or bleed. Ethics, schmethics. Unbelievable. See, you two are unbelievable. Eh. Hey, is that the sound of someone calling us? I think it might be. Duty calls and all that. Toodles. Go eat some bin juice, bin chicken. I think that was the shortest one yet. Under 25 minutes. And I'll have to cut it down a little bit, obviously. But we've got a lot less words this time to pick from as well. We really need to hit more Melbournes. So hopefully we'll try and do that. I don't really know. Again, we'll just pick words. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking it out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.